AITA for telling my birth siblings to fuck off and leave me alone, and I don't care about their stupid fucking parents. I, 21M, was adopted as an infant. But this wasn't some heartwarming, selfless decision made by a struggling mother who just wanted the best for her baby. No, I was abandoned. I was found in an alleyway, wrapped in nothing, left in a low-visibility area where I could have easily been overlooked. No note, no sign that someone cared about what happened to me. I was discarded like trash. I don't remember any of this, obviously, but it made the news at the time. I've seen the old newspaper clippings. A mystery baby, left for dead. If someone hadn't found me when they did, I wouldn't be here today. The people who saved me weren't my birth parents. They were total strangers. My adoptive parents? They're the people who raised me, loved me, wanted me. They were honest with me from a young age about my adoption, but they never made me feel othered. I was part of their family, no questions asked. I grew up with siblings, all biological to my adoptive parents, but they never treated me like anything less than their brother. I had a childhood filled with love and laughter, and that was enough for me. I never felt the urge to go looking for my birth family. I never had some big identity crisis. The people who abandoned me had made their decision. And honestly, I didn't care why. That was my stance for most of my life. But then a few months ago, something changed. I got engaged, my fiancé, and I started talking about our future, about kids. And for the first time, I had to confront the one real problem with not knowing anything about my birth family, medical history. What if I had some genetic disorder I didn't know about? What if there was something lurking in my DNA that could affect my future children? That was the only reason I decided to do a 23andMe test. I didn't want a reunion. I just wanted information. But like an absolute idiot, I didn't realize I had accidentally left the option open for biological relatives to find me. And that's how I learned I wasn't an only child. I got a message from two people, birth siblings. They were older than me. And apparently, I wasn't just some one-off mistake. My birth parents had 5 other kids before me. At first, I was just in shock. I had always assumed my birth parents were young, desperate, and alone when they abandoned me. But no, they had an entire family. They had raised my siblings. And yet, for whatever reason, I was the one they tossed away. I felt numb, confused, angry. But my birth siblings didn't come at me with hostility. They acted excited. They told me they had been looking for me, that they had always known about me, that their parents had regretted giving me up. That last part, that made me pause. Because let's be real, they didn't give me up. They dumped me in an alley like a piece of garbage. Still, I decided to be civil. I told them straight up that I didn't have an interest in reconnecting with my birth parents, but if they had any medical history to share, I'd appreciate it. They didn't answer my question. Instead, they kept pushing to tell me my birth parents' real story. I shut it down. I told them, flat out, that I didn't care why my birth parents abandoned me. I wasn't interested in reconnecting. I just wanted medical information. That's when things shifted. At first, they just seemed disappointed. But then the messages started changing. They started guilt-tripping me. You don't understand. Our parents regretted it so much. They wanted to come forward, but they were too scared of getting in trouble. They cried for you. You were never forgotten. You owe it to them to at least hear them out. That last one, that's when I started getting pissed. I didn't owe them or their parents anything. If my birth parents had really regretted what they did, they would have come forward regardless of the consequences. They would have fought to get me back. Instead, they let me grow up thinking I was unwanted and discarded. And now, when I have a life without them, when I've moved on, they suddenly want a second chance? No, absolutely not. I blocked my birth siblings. I thought that was the end of it. But then, they found me on social media. I started getting messages from different accounts. They kept insisting we were family, that I was the missing baby, that their mom cried for me every night, that I was being cruel for shutting them out. They said I was being unfair, that it wasn't my mom's fault, that she was young and overwhelmed, that she and my father had just panicked. But you know what? They weren't too young to raise my 5 older siblings. They weren't too overwhelmed to keep them. So what was different about me? Was I an accident? Were they just sick of having kids? Was I just too much? I didn't care about their excuses. I was done. I ignored them. I blocked them again. But they kept making new accounts. This went on for almost 3 months. 3 months of them pushing and pushing, trying to force me to care about people who hadn't cared about me. And eventually I snapped. I sent one final message before deleting everything. FCK off. Leave me alone. I don't care about you or your stupid f***ing parents. And that was apparently too far. They lost their minds. They told me I was cruel, that their parents didn't deserve that kind of hate, that I was being heartless. They kept coming at me, but I didn't even read the rest. I deleted my account entirely. And now, I don't know. I don't regret cutting them off. I don't regret refusing to engage. I know I don't owe them anything, but was my final message too harsh? Was it too much? Because a part of me wonders, should I have just ignored them one last time instead of snapping?